June 15th, 2024, and I think it's exactly 5 a.m. Excuse me. We're going to continue with the Tao Te Ching, and we're doing Wayne Dyer's interpretation, not a translation. Um, I mentioned before the story behind this book. I've had it for close to 20 years. I bought it when it first came out in paperback. And for whatever reason, I couldn't bring myself to read it. I kept putting it aside and putting it aside. It fell farther and farther in my big list of um, books to read until it was almost non-existent in my mind. And the reason is that I was continuously reading the Tao Te Ching uh, through the years. Probably, once a year I would revisit certain books that I always revisit: the Bhagavad Gita, the Tao Te Ching, Course in Miracles. Course in Miracles is heavily focused in my life right now, um, as is the Tao. So, for whatever reason, I had started reading the Siva Sutras, which is a yogic text. Um, and in the middle of that, just felt this urge to put it aside and pick up this copy of the Tao Te Ching, no other. Not the actual Tao, but Wayne Dyer's interpretation and suggestions on how to incorporate it in your life. And I'm really glad that I did. I'm getting a lot out of it. It just had to be the time, and right now it is. So we're on verse 16. Verse 16 is living with constancy, living with change, living with motion. Let's go right into the Tao, and then maybe talk a little bit about it. Become totally empty. Let your heart be at peace. Amidst the rush of worldly comings and goings, observe how endings become beginnings. Things flourish, each by each, only to return to the source, to what it is, and what is to be. To return to the root is to find peace. To find peace is to fulfill one's destiny. To fulfill one's destiny is to be constant. To know the constant is called insight. Not knowing this cycle leads to eternal disaster. Knowing the constant gives perspective. This perspective is impartial. Impartiality is the highest nobility. The highest nobility is divine. Being divine, you will be at one with the Tao. Being at one with the Tao is eternal. The way is everlasting, not endangered by physical death. Let's see. Well, lots of people. Well, 2 people popped in. Mixel, am I saying that right? Says hi. Hello, my friend. How are you? Asher says Ronaldo or Messi. I don't know who is who, which is which. Why would I pick? How about Ronaldo and Messi together? Pixie says Asher chill. Asher chill. Asher says I need to know. My suggestion: dive in, trust your intuition, and take a pick. See what happens. You let me know. Come back tomorrow. Let me know who you decided. I obviously can't decide because because I don't know. Angela says, have you ever been to Mount Bald? Not only have I been to Mount Bald, I've scaled it. I've climbed it. I lived there. I've expressed it. I've carved my face on the mountaintop of Mount Bald. Let's see. Frodo or White Wizard. You know what? I've only read The Hobbit. I attempted to read the others, and I just couldn't get into it. I love The Hobbit, though. So I'm going to go with Frodo. Bixie says, Eric, how do I become a mod? Show up for a while. Eric Lapointe, by being yourself, exactly. Show up for a while, relax, have fun, uh, include your own insights. I don't want people to come here to just listen to me. I want to learn from you guys. What is it that you have? What is it that you guys have to teach me? I've learned a lot from my friend Eric Lapointe, and that's why he's a mod. Sci-Fi Chess, what a great name, says, you're telling me I haven't seen the movie. Amazing, they're great. You know what? I should watch the movies. If I can't get into the books, I should watch the movie. That's a great suggestion. Oil up. Man, it's too early in the morning for me to oil up. Although, you know what? Technically, I guess I did. I did my joint mobility before I did my yoga. And joint mobility literally increases the synovial fluid that we have in our joints. And synovial fluid is like the motor oil. It keeps the joints running smoothly. It dries up as we get old. And as you guys can tell, I'm pretty darn old. So I need all that synovial fluid that I can get. Eric Lapointe says, don't forget to hit the like. Thank you for that, Eric. Jamie Frank says, I lost my left testicle. I'm sorry to hear that. You know what? Celebrate the fact that you still have your right. And I don't mean that in a dismissive way at all. We have a choice, focusing on what we don't have, focusing on what we have. For me, I found focusing on what I have to lead to a greater sense of peace. Neil says, are you bald on a daily basis? Actually, I'm not. I have a somewhat amount of hair, and it comes and goes. You know what? I always ask people, if you're going to come in and troll, be clever. And I've actually had a couple. We had, I appreciate those comments. Neil came in and he was pretty clever. Then above, have I ever been to Mount Bald? That was pretty funny too. Your fella says, I lost my right testicle. Hey, you guys should hang out together. It's a good point. One person with the left, one person with the right, and together you become whole. The only way we realize our wholeness is by realizing community. The realizing that although I am different in aspect, together we're the same. Who would have thought we could learn a great spiritual lesson by the absence of testicles? Life is amazing that way. Sci-Fi Chess says there's like 5 to 7 movies, and they're like 3 hours each, so it's a commitment. But like all commitments, one day at a time. I can watch a little bit in the afternoon each day and work my way through it. It's a process. And from your recommendation, it seems like it'd be well worth it. I appreciate that, Sci-Fi. How is it taking care of Batman all those years? That's a ridiculous question, because obviously I'm Batman and I take care of myself. However, any resemblance to Alfred is all part of the illusion, all part of my great disguise. If you think I'm Alfred, therefore you can't realize that I'm Batman. Neil says, I have both my testicles, thankfully. Yeah, thankfully. Exactly. I am grateful for what I have. I'm not going to say 2 testicles is better than 1. I'm just going to say that I'm grateful that I have 2. To say that 2 are better than 1 might be perceived as a slight for the 1 testicle beings in the world, and they function just fine with just 1. Jen says hello. Hello, my friend. James Frank got subscribed. I appreciate that. I appreciate all subscribers. Eric LaPointe gives a thumbs up. Thank you. Let's see. Boy, awful lot of talks on testicles and other things. Did I get circumcised? Did I get circumcised? Or did someone circumcise me? That's the big question. I can say happy birthday to you, but I can't pronounce your name. Golem, Goliama, happy birthday to you. And I'm sorry I mispronounced your name. If you come back next year, I'll do my best to give you the gift of a proper pronunciation on your birthday. Neil says, you seem like a cool individual to be around. I have my ups and downs, my friend. My ups and downs. I'm pretty even-keeled. Happy birthday, my friend. Team, DL, why are you dressed like an unemployed lesbian? You know what? I take offense to that, as if I was to be a lesbian, I would be a highly employed lesbian and dress accordingly. I'm actually dressed more like a hobo lesbian. A hobo lesbian with a heart of gold, riding the trains, doing good deeds, helping people and those in need of help and comfort. That would be a great TV show. And of course, I would have a chimpanzee sidekick who was not a lesbian. Not that she couldn't be, if she wanted to be. Neil said, did you read all the books behind you, or are you a poser? I have not read all the books behind me. I've read the vast majority of the books behind me. As for being a poser, yeah, I've spent a lot of time posing in life. Anytime we relate to the ego, we're a poser. Poser and the ego, the same thing, putting up a front, not being authentic. Genuinely, I'm just pure awareness without ego. The ego is an appearance. It's not separate. It's not a bad thing, but it's not who I am. So anytime I'm not at peace, anytime I don't act with forgiveness, anytime I don't act with good humor and forbearance, then I'm a poser. As we all are. And it's all okay. It's the play of life. In yogic psychology, yogic philosophy, Lila, the play of God. We're not in charge of it. It just happens. Jen says, this was not nice. What was the point of saying that? You know what? Looking for the point of things just leads to a restless heart. Who knows what's the point of anything? And if I spent time considering what was the point of that, it would just sort of bog me down into the chatter of the mind. So you just let it go. We move on. Continue doing what we do. Neil says, you seem to be at peace most of the time. You definitely don't have a wife. I like that. I have an ex-wife. I have an ex-wife who is everyday present in my life. She is the presence in my life. She is still the love of my life. It's even better. Ex-wives are even better. I highly recommend everyone get at least one ex-wife. Let's see. Jen says, don't take out the bad thing out on other people, like this nice guy. Thank you. I appreciate that. Apple says, I love your answers, Eric. I hope you have a great day today. And I hope that it's sunny where you are today. It's supposed to be. It's 5:30. I'm going to get ready to go out for my sunrise walk. I do every morning. Assuming you're going on another walk today. I am, Apples. Thank you. Good gaming friend. I like that name. I think of everyone here as a friend. Says hi. James Frank. Thank you, my friend. You guys are awful kind. Eric Point says, hey, Apple. And nice, James. Very nice. Let's see. Team DL has a post held for review. Um, you look like a Nazi that kept burning himself on the ovens. Not very clever. James Frank said, y'all have a good one. You too, my friend. Eric Point says, well, Team YouTube, block your comment. Yeah, I think that would be considered by YouTube standards hate speech. I'd much rather someone come in and try to be funny. We had some great bald comments today. We had some pretty good homeless lesbian comments, unemployed lesbian comments. I like it all. Jen says, I like how you take the bullies out of the world. You know what? Because it's not ever about the bullies, it's always about my response to the bullies. Can I be responsive instead of reactive? Can I practice my responsibility, my ability to respond? The more you practice, the more it becomes what you have to give out. You give it away. If you squeeze an orange, you always get orange stuff, juice, pulp, seeds. So if I'm steeped in peacefulness, whenever I'm squeezed by external circumstances, I give out peace. Am I always at peace? No, but it's always a practice. Everything's an opportunity, guys. Apple says, hey, howdy, Eric. I watched a couple of your shorts yesterday and it was inspiring. Thank you. You know what? I encourage people, go out and make your own shorts too. What a beautiful art form. Nature's always happening uniquely to you. No one's ever going to see. I talk frequently with Eric Lapointe about this. And he does beautiful, beautiful stuff. Oh, were you talking to Eric? My mistake. Eric does do beautiful shorts. James says, F the haters. Hey, the haters serve a valuable purpose. I get to practice peacefulness. I get to practice my YouTube stand-up routine. All because people come in and offer me that. Everything's a gift. And like all gifts, we don't get to pick and choose. Apple says that was for the point, by the way. I get it now. Team says, guys, relax. Said he likes jokes. I do like jokes. You fella Edit says, can you adopt me? My parents are abusive. I'm sorry to hear about your parents. I have my handfuls since I've adopted 2 cats. And I have a loner dog that visits me on a daily basis. But I'm really sorry about your parents, my friend. Pymeo? Man, I mispronounce almost every name on here. It says, peace to you, my friend. Neil says, tips on getting a girlfriend. Be yourself. Be completely yourself. Be independent of the opinions of others. Because that's what makes you cool. Just being uniquely yourself. No one else in the world can do it. Says he never had one because he never tried. That's the best way to do it. Don't try. If you try to have a girlfriend, you'll get the wrong one. If you let the perfect one be attracted to you, you're going to be completely happy. Rejected all that wanted a chance. I'm in between liking my loneliness, but wanting a wife at the same time. That's a good place to be. It's a good place to be. Embrace your loneliness. Loneliness, aloneness, means we're all alone because there's no others. There's just the appearance of others. And when you can reside in that, when you can be happy with the silence of your mind, when you can be happy with your own peacefulness of heart, then you have room for the perfect person to enter. And it'll still be work. No relationship is easy. Eric Point says, thanks, Apple. I saw that you stopped by yesterday. Thank you. Team says, joke, you look like the Edgar character on MIB that never got the sugar water. Unfortunately for that joke, I don't get it because I don't know MIB. But because most of your comments have been pretty funny, I'm going to guess those who know are laughing pretty hard right now. I might have to refer to it later. I might have to check it out so I can get the joke. Eric says, that's too bad. It is too bad. Apple says, you are inspiring too, McCarty. Like the small nook of internet I stumbled upon yesterday. Awesome. I appreciate that. Jen says, but what about, but what if I'm a girl and I don't want a girlfriend? Interesting. But what if I'm a girl and I don't want a girlfriend? Then continue being yourself and everything will work out fine. Richard Bach, who wrote Illusions, and Jonathan Livingston Seagull said, in the end, everything will be all right. And if it's not all right, it's not the end. Eric Lapointe says, that's how I got here, Apple. And I appreciate the fact that he's still here months later. Neil says, I'd like to subscribe. I appreciate that. Eric Point says, Men in Black. Men in Black. So, guys, it is time for my walk. I'm going to head outside. I'm going to greet the sunrise. I'm going to see what nature has in store for me. It's always something amazing. I'm going to see everyone later. Appreciate you guys being here, spending the morning with me. Team DL Z24, you look like the Spider-Man that got bit by a normal spider. All right, that's the perfect way to end. That was funny. That was funny. I have the proportionate strength of a regular guy. However, I am a burpee machine. I was bit by a regular spider that can do a whole lot of burpees. That was pretty funny, guys. Apple says, have a good one, McCarty. You too, my friend. Eric What Point says, another great live. It was a very funny live. I appreciate it. I appreciate you all being here. Team says, thank you for letting me roast you. Bye. Take care, my friend. Pick waves. I'm going to wave back. Thanks again, guys. Take care.